What's up, my beautiful people? It's your girl, Dr. Shonna. And I'm here to give you guys an update about Curacao, where I visited yesterday. Now, this is not going to be a long video because I'm behind time and I have to get off this ship to go visit the island of Bonaire. But I'll give y'all a little something about Curacao because for me, the experience was powerful. And I told you guys I knew I was going to go to Curacao to learn about Tula and to get a better understanding about the people and their energy that's coming out of Curacao, and I did just that. So I want to tell you guys, going to Curacao was very interesting. First of all, we rented a car and we drove about 40 minutes to an hour up into Curacao to go to the town of Canip, where the plantation, which is now a museum, stands, where Tula was at. And that journey, we were able to see a large portion of the island. Curacao is one of the biggest islands, so that's important for us to know that. Curacao is one of the biggest islands, so you're going to see a lot of changes. But I have some pictures I'm going to show you guys. I got a little bit of video I'm going to show you guys. We went into a couple of stores there. When you're more towards the town, it seems like the Indians own a lot of the stores. When you go into the country, there's a lot of Asians setting up shop everywhere, and they follow you around the store like they straight out of, what was that movie where they tell you, hurry up and buy? Remember that? It's like, hurry up and buy, hurry up and buy. Whatever movie that was, that's what it reminded me in the store. And I got some pictures, I got some video. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. But just to see the oppression, and to know that there's a lot of people there who, once again, like if you've been fed shit all your life, you don't know that it's shit. You don't know that it's shit. You really don't know that it's shit until somebody tells you. And then you're like, oh my God, this is what I've been eating. And that's what I've noticed in the island. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful island, but the people who identify as black, they are hungry for change. They are hungry. The minute I went there and I started speaking to different people and getting their opinion on what happened and talking about Tula, which is our ancestor, I'm going to tell you about briefly real quick. The minute I opened my mouth and I started speaking, these people were singing like canaries, singing. They are tired. A lot of the people that I spoke to, they know that they're at the bottom. When I ask them, how come there isn't any change? What's going on? What are we going to do about it? There's one guy told me, and I don't have my notes. I was taking notes, it's in my daughter's bag, so I don't have it with me at my room. But I can't remember the name, but I'm going to give you guys the name a little bit later. However, he said that 5 years ago, one of their leaders were killed. And because he was speaking the truth and because he was raising the consciousness of the people, he was fighting to get the island, Curacao, independent of the Netherlands. And he said, but at the same time, the people here in Curacao are scared. And I said, what do you mean when you say that they're scared? He said, they like the idea of independence, but they're scared for it because all their life they have depended on the Netherlands. All their life they have depended on the Dutch for everything, for their medical, for their welfare, social services, everything. For the businesses, developing the land, they have depended on the Dutch for everything. And so he said, if you have dark skin like us, you are oppressed. You are oppressed here. He said there's 40,000 Dutch people from the Netherlands that are living on the island because that is still Dutch property, right? So they're living on the island. And he said that determines everything from employment, business. If you want to open up a business, one of the other people I was speaking to, he was looking for, yes, thank you so much. His name is Helmeen Wells. Absolutely. See, I'm telling you, don't I be doing my research, y'all? I'll be getting there and talking to people. He was killed 5 years ago He was killed, according to the guy that I was speaking to, he was killed 5 years ago because he wanted change. And I said, ain't that something? And so the guy was like, he said, like, like you have Dr. Martin Luther King. He said that was our king. No more. They killed him. They killed him. I said, so what happened with the people? That was 5 years ago. Who's next? He said, look, people are afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid for a lot of reasons. They're afraid because they killed him. They're afraid because they don't know what independence would look like. They're afraid because everything is ran there by the white Dutch people. And he said, so they are afraid, but this is what they do. This is what they do. And so my heart was broken. My heart was really broken because to hear a number of people, not just him, I met even a female, her name is Sheila. And Sheila is on it. Like when I started to speak on Tula and ask questions, she came over to me. She didn't care that she was at work. She came over to me and people was coming in for her business. She was just handing them stuff and just singing like a canary. Singing like a canary. They are hungry for change. And the fact that so many people, so many of us who are in other places, especially the States, we don't know a lot about what's going on in other areas. We may get a glimpse of stuff, but these people need the support. They want the change. They want the fight, but they are afraid. They are afraid and they don't have the resources. She was telling me everything about how even jobs are set up. If you want to go for like a up management position or some type of management position, period, you got to know somebody. You got to know somebody white. They said there are very few black people in those positions, and it's done strategically and by design. There is no reason for them not to be in those positions. People can't say because you don't speak the English, because everyone on the island are educated to speak 4 languages. They speak Spanish, Dutch, Papiamento, Spanish, Dutch, Papiamento, and why am I forgetting the other one? But somebody can tell me. Someone can tell me. I know y'all know this. I'm drawing a blank. Papiamento, Dutch, Spanish, and it's another one. They're educated to speak 4 languages. So like say for example, if they was to come to the States, to America, they will have no problem getting the job. They will have no problem getting the job because Spanish is spoken everywhere. And you'll see them look like me. You'll see them look like they're all different. Is it English? The 4th one is English? Because the store it might be English. You're right. It might be English. The store that I went into and I was speaking English, she immediately, Portuguese, there you go. She came in and she said to me, she doesn't speak English. She didn't speak English whatsoever. So thank God that my daughter and I, we speak Spanglish, right? We were able to talk to her, order our food and get the stuff that we needed. So, and it's been like that everywhere we go. Wherever we go, it's always like French speaking. My husband speaks French, so we are able to manage around. And if not, it's Spanish speaking, we're able to manage around. So thank God for that. But that's all they speak on the languages, those 4 on the island, those 4 languages. But at the end of the day, when they're in the hotels, not everyone speaks English, Kenya. I get what you're saying, but I know not everyone speaks English, because I met a number of them that they had no idea, and I had to speak to them in Spanish. They don't all speak English, but it might be English that they're educated in. I gotta get my notes. I don't have them in front of me, so you might be correct. But nonetheless, when I started speaking to this lady, she said all the jobs that they give us in terms of the dark people, all the jobs that they give them are service jobs. Valeting the cars, holding the door, cleaning, porting. That's the kind of jobs that they give them. They give them all service jobs. And she said, in terms of management, if you want to move up the ladder, you have to know somebody. And chances are you have to know somebody white to move up the ladder, because they don't reserve those jobs for blacks. So as we in the States, we get, we turn up, right? We talk about discrimination, we file suits, all that stuff. Is not the same out there. It's not the same. So they keep these people in low-level positions on purpose. Another guy that I was talking about, he's interested in opening a business. And he said they have been giving him the runaround to open a business. They make it so difficult for him to get his business certificates and stuff. And he said they do that strategically because he's black. He said they do that on purpose. See, that is very important because in the States, we can go right online, file our business, pay our fee, and get to open and shop, right? In the States, we can do that. It's not like that in Curacao. It's not like that. All of this stuff is strategic of how it happens. Another person I spoke to, he said he went to go buy land, and they make it very difficult on purpose for you to buy land. And he said, so what he did was he bought a piece of land for $40,000, but it's nowhere near where the tourism is, because they jack up those prices obviously on purpose. The black people who are there don't make enough money to purchase a $200,000-$300,000 piece of land. So a lot of them, they get what they can get, but developing it is very difficult because of the resources. They control the resources strategically. So we talk about systematic oppression. Their systematic oppression is a blatant. It is in your face. It is not like, oh my God, what's really happening here? Is it because it's none of that? It's blatant. It's in your face. You know where it's happening. Another thing that they have strategically done is they will purchase up land, or whites will purchase up land all around the coast. And now what happens is beach doesn't belong to anybody, but because they purchase up the land all around the coast, the property now becomes privatized, right? So it's private property, and you cannot pass on to private property without paying. So if you want to go to the beach is free, but not the private property. Now, for many of them, they charge a fee for you to even move through their property to get to the beach. And so you got to understand that not all beach waters are safe, because some of them have higher currents. So if you leave the waters that are all rocky, there's no path, there's a bunch of big rocks all over the place, the waves are smashing up 10 feet high, you can't go swimming in that water because it's dangerous. So they do that strategically and on purpose. I mean, it's crazy out there. It's crazy. We went into a grocery store, like a supermarket, like a bodega. We went into a great grocery store owned by Chinese people, or Asians. I'm just going to say Asians. They were selling all types of stuff in there. All types, even hair and hair products. I mean, when I tell you all types of stuff, I was like, what the hell are we in? I mean, these Asian people set up shop, and however they're going to get your money, they're going to get your money. And what's so sad is I seen people, see, Marinella is telling the truth. I'm telling you, I seen people, our people, just walking blatantly. They get followed around, well, at least in the store that we were in, follow around. The husband sits at the counter. There's cameras and screens everywhere because they monitor everything. And the wife is going from aisle to aisle to aisle, watching the people. It is crazy. And the people are just moving about. So I say all that to say is I want to come back on. I want to give you guys more of an in-depth history. I'm just breezing over this on purpose. I'm about to get off the ship. But I say that because I want y'all to know the reason why that's happening. The people in Curacao are starting to wake up. According to another guy I was speaking to, they are starting to wake up and take notice of what is really happening here. And partly because of social media. And that's why I say to us all the time that we have to continue to talk out. We have to continue to band together. We have to continue to support each other, even if we don't like each other, right? There's some people that I can care less about, but I am not going to kick my brothers and sisters' backs in. Right? I may keep my distance from certain people, but I'm not going to kick their backs in, because I understand what is happening in this world. And the people of Curacao are finally waking up. So the reason why they're treated that way is because when you start to wake up, when you start to get consciousness, you are a threat. You are a threat, and you must be controlled. And so the people there, they protest, they fight back. They are really starting to wake the hell up and get it popping. And last but not least, what I'm going to say about Curacao is when I went to go visit the plantation that Tula first started. Now you have to understand, I already told you in the last video, he took a stand and he was like, yo, we ain't doing this anymore. Like, the French done freed abolished slavery over in France or whatever it was. They abolished slavery. We ain't doing it anymore. We want our freedom. You got to give it to us. So you have to understand that he was asking first, asking for freedom first. And I say to us all the time, we cannot ask for anything. We got to take it. You cannot ask. Ain't nobody in hell who has oppressed you for hundreds of years is just going to turn around and give you what you're asking for. That's never going to happen. You have to take it. And that's what Tula did. Tula took it. Because the minute I said Tula, the minute I said I'm here for this reason, I'm not here for anything else. I don't care about going in the water. I don't want to get on a jet ski. I don't want to do none of that stuff. I don't want to take a ferry over to the little island. I don't want to do none of that stuff. I am here for Tula. And they were excited because he doesn't get enough coverage. He doesn't get enough light. People don't even know about the movie that was out. He doesn't get enough play. And when I started to talk, they started to sing. And they showed me the whole path where I go. Where's the next place I go? I went from the plantation home to the statue where they erected the statue. I believe the statue was erected 10, 15 years ago, so which is not a very long time. If he was murdered in 1795, in 2004 or 2007, one of those, 2004, 2007, they erected this statue and to commemorate his spirit. And is erected at the location where he and his two partners, where they, they're his comrades, that was like, yo, we taking people out. We taking people out. They were all beheaded. So we were standing in the spot that he was murdered. They cut off his head. They cut off the other two, and one of them was a woman. Let me tell you something. Queen Mother was no joke. Queen Mother was no joke. And this is why I can't wait till I come back and do my history video for you guys so y'all can know about this. She was no joke. It's so important for us to know our ancestors. It's so important. And I tell you, that woman was, she was just as bad as Tula. And they took off her head too. And they took off the other guy that he was with. They took off all three of their heads and they impaled it right there at the beach where we took pictures. I'm going to show you guys the pictures where they were murdered at. And they impaled it there so all the other slaves can see it. And to warn them that if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. And even though it ends sad, but we got to embrace it. We got to be so happy that it happened, because had that not happened, they would not have moved fast enough to start emancipating the slaves across the globe had that not happened. See, we got to understand that they're not going to give us anything. We got to take it. We got to take it. And sometimes you got to take it by force. We can't be having all these scared Negroes around here. You understand? Some of us got to be bold enough. Some of us got to be bold enough to say, you know something, they killing us every day anyway. So I'm just going to do what I have to do. All right, because when you look at the community of the people over in Curacao, and you see who has and who doesn't have, and why is it, once again, the people who don't have is us. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing that no matter where I go, no matter what country I go to, no matter what state I go to, the majority of the people who don't have it is us. And this has got to stop, and it's going to stop the more we become aware. It's going to stop as long as we start standing up and doing for self. Listen, if we don't understand capitalism, if we don't understand how this world is operating by the powers that be and what their sole purpose is, somebody has got to be oppressed for somebody else to be lifted, right? We got to make it to the point where it's no longer us. It's no longer us. We got to stop. It's got to tell us something. And I don't want to sound like I'm rambling on, but this is just my thoughts. I'm just free flowing. I have no notes. I'm just free flowing. It's got to tell us something, where no matter where you go around the globe, we are oppressed. No matter where you go around the globe, we're fighting. No matter where you go around the globe, we want our respect. That's got to tell you something. That's got to tell you something. You know? It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart when I see my people. And I've never seen a people get so excited about me asking them about them. And I'm asking myself, are they invisible to the rest of the world? Does no one care? Do they just want to visit their island because it's beautiful? It's a beautiful island. Are they just visiting because we have a tourist mindset and we just want to go and kumbaya, get in the water, kumbaya? That's what we want to do. We gotta embrace ourselves. We gotta talk to them. We gotta do this globally around the place. You know? So I say that to say, sisters and brothers, someone's telling me I'm frozen. Am I still frozen, guys? Am I still frozen? I hope not. Y'all let me know if I'm frozen. But anyways, I say this as I get out of here. I'm only sharing with you guys because I know some of you guys do not know about Tula. Some of you guys may not know about some of the other names I'm going to share with you today. But it's important that we start talking about this. It's important that we, when we go different places, we make it our business to connect with our sisters and brothers, because they need us and we need them. They need us and we need them. And I don't have that mindset that I don't need them. I don't have that mindset. There are different things about them that are different than us, and yes, they have their, you know, their exclusive natures, but that's not everyone. There are going to be some people who are you know, they might shy away or push away back from you. They might look at you like you're the strange one, because that's how we've been conditioned around the globe to look at each other, not to trust each other, right? Not to want to fraternize with one another, because when you fraternize with others that look like you were subjected to a whipping, you were subjected to murder, you could have been sold away. So we've been conditioned and trained to see each other as bad. But we have to change that. We got to be the change we want the world to see. And I know it's cliche, but it has so much truth to it. We have to go there to other places whenever we see our brothers and sisters and embrace them. Even when they push back against us, just have an open heart for them. Because we have to understand that what we're seeing, this divide and this division that we're seeing among each other, is strategic. All of that stuff is done like that on purpose. So when you start going to other places and you start seeing that we are conditioned this way no matter where we're at, we are at the bottom no matter where we go. This stuff is all done with intention and on purpose, and it's not going to change until we change it. It's not going to change until we change it. So there's so much more I want to be able to tell you guys about Curacao. I'm going to tell you later when I have my notes in front of me. But it is a beautiful island. It's rich. And America is not the only one that had brutal slavery. And people don't talk about it other places. But in Curacao, they were brutal. They were brutal as hell. Like in Curacao, how they treated our enslaved brothers and sisters, it wasn't easy breezy. It wasn't easy breezy. So I'm glad he fought back. I'm glad Tula did what he did. I'm glad the uprising started to happen all around the globe, and all the Caribbeans, they started to rise up. You know, we was rising up in Americas. We were all rising up. We was all rising up. So it was only a matter of time that they was going to emancipate us. And people would say, oh, Lincoln, Lincoln, Lincoln. That's what I say to Lincoln. We was going to take that shit anyway, because we was all waking up fighting back. We was taking that shit anyway, and they knew it. They knew it. It was like, fuck it, let's try to save face. Let's give them some freedom, because they getting kind of crazy, because the news was spreading everywhere that all these uprisings everywhere. Everywhere I go and I speak to our people, there was an uprising. Even in Jamaica. You know, I told you guys a few years ago when I went to St. Martin, and I told you about, I think her name was Titi, the runaway slave, the one that kept running away. You know, there was revolts there too. We were rising up all over the place. It was only a matter of time that they had to give us, because we was taking it. It was like, listen, we know you're going to kill us anyway, so before you kill me, I'm going to kill about 400 of you motherfuckers. I'm going to kill about 70 of y'all. I'm going to kill the babies too. It was that kind of situation. It was more like, oh, okay, so you're not going to give us our freedom. All right, wait till you go to sleep. I'm going to get you, your child, and your dog. Like, it was on some real gangster stuff. And we have to be able to understand that. We have to, when we look at each other, we got to see each other as warriors. right? And I know there's a lot of us that are brainwashed, you know, like in this island right here that I'm going on to right now, Bonaire. Bonaire has so many damn churches on this island. Like, what the hell? You know, there's a lot of Jehovah Witnesses all over the place. Even in Curacao, there's a whole bunch of Jehovah Witnesses. No, you know, no shade to people who love their religion, their bondage. No shade. And make no mistake, I want you to know I'm a believer. I'm a worshiper. I'm a believer. I tithe to myself, 10% to myself. I'm a I'm a worshiper and I'm a believer. Make no mistake. I speak with my God every morning. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. But I'm not in bondage. I don't belong to any more institutions. I left. I don't belong to any more institutions. I'm not in bondage. And I understand what bondage is doing to a lot of our sisters and brothers. I see what bondage is doing. So it's like that. They want you to be in bondage because then you're not going to strike back. They want you to be in bondage because you're not gonna check them. You're not going to keep them in their place. They're going to keep you in your place. So they want you to be in bondage. And I look at it, I see how they operate. And I see how they look and what they talk about and how they move. I'm like, yeah, y'all got to let this bondage go. That's why y'all are afraid. But anyway, I'm getting the hell on out of here. I'm going to tell you guys more in detail the conversation. I'm going to start sharing the pictures and stuff from Curacao. I'm going to do that for you. But Curacao is an island. Those of you guys who go back to the island, I want you guys to go back with a mindset of visiting for history, not just a museum. I went to the museum too, not just the museums that people go to that's around where the tourists are. Get out of the tourist areas. You got to go into the towns. Do not be afraid. Go into the towns and speak to the people. I know my son was a little nervous and my husband, the boys. How the boys nervous? They're all a little nervous when I'm going in and do all types of things, going off the road. Thought the car was going to turn over, but guess what? We accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and now everyone's talking about they had fun. They had fun. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Somebody's saying these conversations must continue. Absolutely. Chris is saying Lincoln knew that's why he fell in line. He knew he was talking it. He was taking it, blood, sweat, tears, and all. Yes, he knew we were taking it. Absolutely. Christine says we need to get that warrior spirit back. I'm with you, Christine. Some of us got it. But too many of us are, you know, we got to get rid of that religion. I'm not telling you to get rid of your God. I said get rid of the religion. We got to get rid of that religion. Just like Tula said, when the priest came around, he was like, keep you in your religion. I don't want your God. I don't want to have nothing to do with your God. Like Tula was even on it. Tula was on it. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, we gotta wake the hell on up. Mariella says, Thank you for sharing a part of my history. The Netherlands don't have this part of history in their curriculum. No, they don't. And it's like that on purpose. The Netherlands is never going to give you your history. And that's why in the Netherlands, and you know this, tell me if I'm wrong, that's why in the Netherlands, they're uprising now. They're protesting. They get in the end. They'll fight a police officer. We over here, we scared. In the Netherlands, I know it. I see it. You punch a cop, the cop punch you, they punching you back. They like, yo, what's up? Let's get it popping. They're not playing. But over here, we scared over here. And I love the fact that all over, the black people who are Dutch, all over, they're waking up. They're a little scared, and that's to be expected, but that's why we have to have their backs. They have to know that we got your back 100%. They got to know that because they're a little scared. They're a little scared. They're not as bold as we are in the States. Like, we're getting bold in the States. We're getting bolder. Too many of us are still scared, but we are getting bolder, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What else is being said? We need all black people to rise up. Absolutely. Awake, my people. I'm so proud of you, sis. Thank you. I'm so proud of you, too. You're so intelligent. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's where I'm at, guys. We're a new breed. Absolutely, Ketley. We are a new breed. And yes, we are not our grandparents. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. I am not my grandparents. And I love my grandmother, 94 years old. She's still alive to this day, still live on her own. I love my grandmother. But they have that mindset that we're going to talk in private about what has happened, but we ain't going to say nothing in public. We ain't going to challenge you. We ain't going to say nothing to those white people. Oh, no, not me. Oh, no, not me. And I'm not saying be disrespectful, but you ain't going to disrespect me. You disrespect, you get disrespect. It's just that simple with me. You know, if you don't disrespect me, you don't get no disrespect. It's just that simple with me. But I'm not my grandparents. I'm not this kumbaya, you know, oh, leave it alone, let Jesus take care of it. I'm not that person. Because you know what? You know what Jesus is telling me? Jesus is telling me to rise up. Jesus is telling me go in there and turn over some tables. Go in there and whip a couple of these people. Go in there and set the animals free. Burn that BRTCH down. That's what Jesus is telling me. I don't know what he's telling you, but the Jesus that I know was gangster. That's the part that people like to leave out. They don't like to focus on that part. The Jesus that I know was gangster. He ain't playing no games. He ain't playing no games. He'll challenge you in a second. The Jesus that I know challenged people. The Jesus that I know turned over tables. You know, the Jesus of 2019 might have a pistol on his hip. That's the Jesus that I know. I don't know what Jesus you know, but that's the Jesus that I know. Shit, the Jesus that I know was a warrior, right? He was a revolutionary. He was a protester. The Jesus that I know. So that's the Jesus that I worship. That's the one I worship. The one that says, "Get your pistol, sis." You know, let some people know. You strike stuff and you get a strike back, right? But anyway, let me go check out Bonaire. I'm going to go see the slave huts in Bonaire. I'm going to teach my children about the salt, the mining, because they was mining salt in Bonaire. I'm going to take them through the town so they can see why there's so many billy goats and donkeys and stuff roaming around, because they were breeding these animals. The Spanish brought them in to be imported in order for them to breed them, to sell them. They weren't eating them. They was taking their skin and their fur. That's what they was doing. So there was a time where the donkeys and the billy goats and stuff, it was a time when they outpopulated the people, because they were being bred faster than the island was being populated. So that's why you see so many of them roaming around. They just roam around freely, like how we have cats, stray cats and stray dogs. In Bonaire, they got stray goats. It's like, it's really weird. Same thing with Aruba. I'm like, damn, these billy goats know how to cross the street. I'm not lying to you guys. I saw a billy goat. He looked to the left, he looked to the right, he looked to the left, and he crossed the street. I was like, well, goddamn, shit, look at that. Y'all see that? We saw a horse with his head just hanging over, eating whatever he was eating. Ain't nobody minding the horse. The horse is not even, I mean, I'm telling you, we seen it all. So I appreciate that part of the island too. I'm gonna send you out the pictures. Love you guys. I'm gonna try to come back on tonight to give you more of a detailed history about Tula. But go ahead and watch the movie. You can get it on YouTube. Go ahead and watch the movie. And of course, as I said before, the movie is going to be a little bit, some parts are a little bit wrong, right? If you know your history, some parts are a little bit wrong, but for the most part, it captures the essence of who Tula was and what Tula did. And so I want you guys to go ahead and watch the movie, know about your ancestors, right? And I'm gonna give y'all some more names to research. I'll take a picture. They did a great job over at the where he was hanged at, where he was beheaded. They did a good job putting up the names of all our freedom fighters. Even Nat Turner's name is up there. I was like, that's what's up. To Saint Louverture, all the names are up there. So that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I love my brothers and sisters, and to all my brothers and sisters in the Netherlands, I'm Dr. Shonna. If we haven't met before, thank you so much for tuning in. And always, y'all can inbox me. Y'all can always send me information. Y'all can always give me places to go visit. I will put that on my list. I love every last one of you guys. Speak to you soon. Be blessed.